done a lot of stuff in your career. If someone has actually never seen anything you've done before, what is the first thing you'd like them watching and why?
Oh my God. Of that I was in?
Uh-huh.
Oh God. I think The Americans is pretty great. Mid to the end of the Americans, I would say.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that show. And speaking of The Americans, was it I was surprised. It seemed like it was a prerequisite of being in The Americans to be in Cocaine Bear.
It kind of was. That was something that Banks said. She just tried to get as many actors from The Americans as she could. 3 is pretty good.
Yeah, I was. Was this like being serious? Because it really is like a reunion.
No, she knew Margot from a project they had worked on together. And then when she brought it up to me, I got a text from Margot saying, "Are you doing this movie?" And I was like, "Are you doing this movie?" And we called it, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm doing this movie." And I was like, "What? Now I'm definitely fucking doing this movie." Because I was like, oh my God, the thought of Margot being the park ranger, I was like, oh, I get the whole thing now. To me, she's my favorite thing in the whole movie. And then Matthew, we were getting ready to go to Ireland, and Matthew knows Banks from many, many years ago. And he said, "Who's doing that part at the beginning?" And I said, "I don't know." He goes, "Text Banks and tell her I want to do it."
And Elizabeth was like, "Yes, please."
She's like, "Okay."
Right. This is one of those projects, like, no BS. I really can't believe it got made because
I know.
It's just one of those where I'm like, I just can't believe it. But what was it like for you actually reading the script for the first time and seeing what they were going to be going for?
I just thought it was that crazy enough. Do you know what I mean? You also, like, we were at the height of COVID. Like, I think we'd probably been through about a year and a half of the worst of it, the beginning. And it just felt so intense, and everything felt so crazy and heavy. And to read something like this, I was just like, it's gotta work. I mean, it just felt like such an escape and such a romp. And Liz had an idea for it. You know, she had a total tone idea that she was going for. And when she told me that she was getting Margot, I was like, okay, I see what you're doing, and why not?
Movies have been around for over 100 years, and it's very rare to make a movie through a big studio where you're doing something that has really never been done before.
I think that speaks to Liz. I mean, first of all, Elizabeth has such a like an easy confidence in her. She loves this business. She's so, like, one of the first things I remember her from is Wet Hot American Summer, her playing that, like, trashy girl, like, making out with Paul Rudd. And she's been doing it for so long. She's such a pro, and she's sort of unflappable in that way. Like, she believes in herself, and that's a really good quality as a director. And I just feel like she had a vision for it. You know, she loves the gore and the craziness of those kind of movies. And that's what so she did not shy away from the gore at all. And I think that's what makes it this crazy, wacky, out there movie. And I think in a time where we're all kind of like not going to the theater as much, this is one you can totally go sit with a ton of people in a crowded room and laugh your ass off and be scared and grossed out. And it's just like a total fun, ridiculous ride. And I think that's what she wanted to create. And it's like what she's perfect for.
I agree. There are some amazing and nasty and bloody kills in this movie. When you were watching it for the first time, because obviously there's so much of this is going to be CGI. When you were watching it for the first time, which was the kill that you were like, get the F out of here?
Oh my God, so many. Margo and Jesse and I all went to a screening room, and there was so many. I mean, Jesse's death is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. And we were just crying, screaming, laughing. Margot's face being drug on the asphalt, pretty great. The ambulance workers being like thrown from the ambulance, amazing. I mean, we were shrieking and clapping and laughing and crying.
that's pretty much me in the theater. I was howling. And again, I was just like, I couldn't actually believe
What
how
was happening?
bloody.
I
Yeah,
know.
I just because I haven't spoken to Elizabeth yet, but I am curious, like how the MPAA was like, yeah, go for it.
That was always her tone. That was always her desire. And she loves those kind of movies. So I think she was just like, no, I want it to be gory and gross and scary and totally ridiculous.
The thing is, in the movie, you are basically playing everything straight while the craziness is around you. So what is that like actually?
Mostly you're just trying hard not to pee your pants in that pink jumpsuit because that would be very visible. It was helpful to be the straight person because Jesse, who's so good off the cuff, like Liz, they're so good at one-liners and just they were improvising all those jokes. Like those were just like coming out, and Margo is really good at that too. So it was, in a way, it was helpful to be the straight man and just let them riff and kind of be their watcher.
I wanted to talk about something else. I'm a big fan of Scott Burns, and you are part of his upcoming, I believe, Apple series.
Yep.
Can you sort of talk about it because it deals with the environment, and which is something that I'm basically. Could you sort of talk about it and what drew you to the project?
Yeah, Scott Burns is so talented, and he's a friend of ours, and wrote this incredibly beautiful, moving anthology, sort of. It's a limited series, and what he was trying to do, which is huge, is to personalize what's happening, to get people to see that it's going to affect all of our lives. And he's just written such beautiful stories. I mean, they're so moving and about relationships and animals and like our life. And it's, it seems like it's set in the future, and from the time we made it to now, I mean, it's happening. So I think he made a very poetic, beautiful take on that. And every episode is sort of its own little world. And I'm a very small part in this episode that takes place all in India. And so it's, I think I speak the only English in it. But it's really just epic and beautiful and important.
I'm really looking forward to it. Congrats on Cocaine Bear, and thank you for making me laugh.
Thank you.